You know, you gotta have a little bit of his mother in there also, right? You gotta know that part. So his lips ain't gonna be sticking way out there like Jay-Z's lips is. You know, they're way out there. Oh my God. But long story short, man, you can't tell me that boy don't look like him. Don't favor his daddy. He don't favor his daddy. Come on now. What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. Thank you. Thank all y'all, man. Thank y'all. We're trying to separate ourselves from all them other channels that bring a whole lot of bullshit. Bullshit. That's my cousin. How y'all doing, man? I try to bring a little humor and a little positivity to all this negative crap that's going on with all these people. It's called the entertainment business, right? We trying some new things, man, to stay one step in front of especially the haters and the competition and all that type of stuff. But check this out, man. I was getting ready to do this Jay-Z lawyers humiliated. I can't talk to save my life. I keep telling y'all, I don't supposed to be on this microphone. Ramir Carter exposed hidden evidence. Is this Jay-Z lawyers? Oh my God. Should we do this one 20 minutes? Or we're gonna do both. Let's do this. Let's go with this one, then we'll go back. Jay-Z fights back. Let's do this one right here first, because I'm trying to stay away from the clickbait and the bull. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy.
Reverse.
Man, my everything is delayed. I got on my green. I'm on Uncle Mike on a diet, y'all, so I'm drinking my celery juice.
In case y'all had not heard, there is a reverse lawsuit going on. Y'all might have heard about the 13-year-old that said she was trafficked by Jay-Z and Diddy, Jane Doe, that had come forward saying that in 2000, when she was 13, that the pair had their way with her. And we had covered this issue some time ago. And she was filing it in New York under the Adult Survivors Act and all that kind of stuff. And what she was saying is that they had molested her, or they R-worded her on MTV Music After Party. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. She was talking about she was dropped off. And remember, she did a so-called interview. And anyway, her lawsuit was eventually dropped with prejudice, and this was back in February of this year. It can't be refiled. But what eventually happened was there were some recordings that surfaced, and Jay-Z and his team have gotten a hold of them. Now, what has now become I guess you would call a vendetta kind of lawsuit. What Jay-Z's team is wanting to do now is file a defamation lawsuit. And he did so last month in August. Now he is filing it against the accuser, especially having the audio files he says he has now. And in the audio files, they're saying that she said Jay-Z didn't do anything to her, and she was just there at the party. He's including Tony Busby in this lawsuit, and that he's alleging that Tony Busby pushed her to sue Jay-Z. Now, ABC News and other media outlets have gotten a hold of this audio, and the clip indeed does seem to say what they say she said. And it does seem as though that what her claim was doesn't carry any water based on her statements.
I know one thing, man. They send some people after her and scared the living mess out of her. I can just tell, man. You know, she changing her story for Jay-Z and them. She changed her story for Busby. I didn't say that. Then she go to the other people. I didn't say that. Then she go to the other people. I didn't say that. You know, so somebody put some fear in her behind. Believe me on that one.
Contradictory. You can't just say that you were done this thing too, but then in the audio file say that, well, he didn't do anything to me. I was lying. I was forced to do it, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So right now, the people that are being brought into this defamation lawsuit is Jay-Z, Jane Doe, and David Fortney, which is the co-counsel for Jane Doe. They're filing it under defamation of character, claiming they knowingly said it was false and they still did it anyway. They were wanting to do it for the extortion of money. They wanted to damage his reputation and link him to Diddy in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And there had been rumors about that at the onset of the case to begin with. Okay. The legal filing says that the state defendants engaged in a coordinated attack. This is what it says on paper. And it wants to emphasize that Jay-Z had nothing to do with the alleged abuse, and he calls it a shakedown. Now, as of September, he is seeking monetary damages for reputational harm. And the case is in early pretrial discovery mode, with Busby, of course, saying, I didn't do nothing. Well, it wasn't me. And of course, if there is audio of the Jane Doe, there's more than likely audio of Busby and her talking, which could end up being part of the discovery. And if that happens, most of Busby's cases might get tossed out. If it goes this far. She claims only recanted her thing about Jay-Z under pressure. So now she's claiming that what you heard was by coercion, not the lawsuit that she filed, but the statements and the recording was because of coercion. He would have to show at least a little bit of malicious intent, just like with any defamation. We haven't decided whether or not the audio that's out there used by ABC and all those people can be entered as evidence for defamation. Don't know that yet. They're still waiting on a bunch of counter suits that could come in because of this. And as of right now, they're waiting to see whether or not this will go any further forward. But Jay-Z at least is trying to say, I didn't do this. And if the audio files are correct, then he does have a case to stand on. Whether Diddy is going to get linked into it, yes or no, that's unknown. I don't know. This particular thing has been going on for a while, and I have a suspicion that you're going to see for the next 2 years. Listen, the next 2 years, easily you're going to see people filing lawsuits between Jay-Z, Diddy, back and forth for the next 2 years. Even if Diddy goes to jail, you're going to see a whole bunch more cases pop off. Now, here's what
Speaking of more cases, Diddy and his son has a case that's it's going to trial, bruh. There's no way in the world you're going to sit there and tell me that somebody filing. You got to have your day in court. Right now they huddling up to see if this is worth going to court. They saying that Diddy, you don't even have to be there, Diddy. You don't even have your son and Diddy are on trial. We already know you done effed up. You in jail. We gonna make this decision without you. That's how good we know. In fact, we might not even we might just sign off on the thing. They might just sign off on the thing. It's a 50-50 chance. It's a 60-40 chance that they gonna just sign off on the thing. Yup. Trust me, I got some new info.
The prediction is most of them will not hold water because they're depending on things that don't exist. Mm-hmm. Either people saying something, they say they have audio, but they don't. That's like with the Diddy case. We have this, and they never bring it forward. I have a suspicion that this is what will happen at Jay-Z's too. Because I don't think people are approaching this the correct way. They're going after the sensational, and everybody wants money. Everybody in these things seem to going after money. They don't want anybody going to jail. That's the crazy part to me. Like they go after defamation and they'll go after a civil suit and they'll tell you that they want to be compensated. Mm-hmm. If you were raped and trafficked, wouldn't you want compensation in the form of prison time? Why would you be looking for money? That's the biggest issue I see with it, and I think that is why.
What? Oh man, everybody looking for money, especially if they gotta pay for that R. You gotta pay for that R, cuz you gotta pay. What else is going to satisfy? I don't understand. Wait a minute. What else is going to satisfy me for what you did? You hurt me. pain and suffering. I'm trying to figure out something other than money that can satisfy my pain and suffering. Give me a couple of days on that one.
It's not going very many places. They're going at this the wrong way, partially because I think they think that's what the best option they have is money, or nothing really happened to that capacity and they're just seeking after money. In any case, we'll see how much this works out. And we'll see if it actually becomes something about the court itself, the case itself, or it'll become another fanfare tabloid kind of speculative things and nothing actually comes of it. And Jay-Z just goes back about his business. No actual people become jail time or nothing like that. I think that's what it'll end up being. That's going to be just another fanfare, just like with the Diddy case. So we covered a lot, quite a lot. We've been on here for a while. So thank you for all of you who have come on, stayed on. And even though you didn't have questions, I appreciate your time anyway. We'll be back again another day with another set of conversations to have.
All right, that's enough of that, man. I'm over here. I don't know what's going on with that.
No, this part is not a.
All right, Jay-Z's lawyers humiliated. I can't say that word to save my goddamn life. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy out.
No, this part is not alleged. Jay-Z and his team, they have been ducking and dodging taking the DNA test.
We all heard the whispers, the late night rumors, the barbershop debates, the quiet lawsuits that seemed ready to explode and burst Jay-Z's carefully polished billion-dollar balloon. But for years, that's all they were, whispers. Claims that floated in the air but never stuck. Stories that got buried under the weight of money, lawyers, and the kind of silence only power can buy. Team Carter's playbook was simple. Ignore it, outspend it, and outlast it. But this time, the story has taken on a new life because now it isn't just Remir Carter's word against a carefully lawyered empire.
This is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Yeah, detain it, not to say it.
It's the so-called family albums, newly unleashed, explosive collections of images, notes, and documents locked and loaded like a tabloid shotgun. These aren't just blurry snapshots tucked away in a dusty drawer. This is a gallery of secrets, a forbidden archive of personal receipts Jay-Z never wanted the world to see. And each page threatens to blow open decades of carefully maintained control. This is not a minor league. This is dynamite. The so-called family albums aren't just about pictures. They tell a story, a timeline, a living, breathing record of claims that Jay-Z has spent years trying to silence. We're talking side-by-side shots that practically scream for recognition. Compare the jawline, look at the nose, the eyes. The uncanny resemblance leaps off the page with a force stronger than platinum plaques or Grammy wins.
Now, you know everybody talking about that. That boy looked like him, man. I don't care what anybody say. In my comics section, they was like, man, you can't go by that bullshit.
Bullshit? Bullshit. Bullshit? Bullshit?
Man, get out of here. I'm trying some new things over here, man. But long story short, what killed me was the teeth. When they put the teeth together. So you got the nose, you got the lips. You know, you gotta have a little bit of his mother in there also, right? You gotta know that part. So his lips ain't gonna be sticking way out there like Jay-Z's lips is. You know, they're way out there. Oh my God. But long story short, man, you can't tell me that boy don't look like him. Don't favor his daddy. He don't favor his daddy. Come on now.
That practically scream for recognition. Compare the jawline, look at the nose, the eyes. The uncanny resemblance leaps off the page with a force stronger than platinum plaques or Grammy wins. To Remir, these are not coincidences. They are proof, visual DNA that the world can't ignore anymore. And here's the kicker. These albums don't just rely on resemblance. They're stacked with handwritten notes from Remir's late mother, Wanda.
Felonies, I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, you know, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of.
The stakes aren't just
letters with dates and addresses that place everything squarely in early 90s New York. This isn't vague hearsay. It's
hold on. I wonder if anybody asked Jay Ramir. Damn, I forgot what I was going to say. Hold up, man. God dang, it was
so
important.
hard to get it from the courts, and seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of.
The stakes aren't just
letters with dates and addresses that place everything squarely in early 90s New York. This isn't vague hearsay. It's mapped out like evidence in a courtroom, only without the seal of approval from the courts. Because if we're being honest, the courts have done everything possible to keep this buried.
I wonder if anybody ever asked Ramir or if he made a statement over the fact that Jay-Z, they saying that Jay-Z people has reached out to Ramir and tried to help him with his music, try to give him a record deal. Is he acknowledging that yeah, Jay, at one time he did reach out, you know what I'm saying? He did reach out and say that, he'll help me and all this type of stuff because he got ties with my mama, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? In other words, there are videos and stuff out there saying that Jay-Z even offered to help him with his music and stuff, and then all of a sudden turned his back on him. So I'm wondering if it's information like that out there.
Hearsay. It's mapped out like evidence in a courtroom, only without the seal of approval from the courts. Because if we're being honest, the courts have done everything possible to keep this buried. Delays, seals, and dismissals have kept the story underground. But once Wanda's handwriting enters the spotlight, once family cookout photos are side by side with pictures of Jay at the same age, the resemblance becomes harder and harder to sweep under the rug.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
You'll never outthink me.
Ever.
Basically, my mom was at a show and she was with a friend. And I guess her and her friend stayed to, after the show, he was doing little signings and little autographs and stuff like that. I guess he wasn't too big, but I guess females, when the show is over, you can sign little autographs and stuff like that, talk to the people who perform. She said she went up there.
Ramir himself has been clear about what he wants. I just want the truth, he said, over and over. He doesn't posture like a tabloid grifter chasing a payout. He frames himself as the last honest voice in a room full of bots and silence. He's not threatening violence, not making wild demands. He's asking for recognition, for acknowledgement. And when the legal system keeps slamming doors, when Jay-Z keeps hiding behind expensive attorneys, the only option left is to go public. That's what makes these leaks so dangerous for the Carter Empire, because they're not just about one young man's claim. They build a timeline that refuses to fit inside Jay-Z's carefully curated biography. For decades, Jay-Z has told us his story. The Marcy Projects, the drug dealer turned rapper narrative, the climb from the bottom to global mogul. But these documents, they suggest a parallel timeline.
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Okay.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit.
God dang. She said, I'm not even saying allegedly. God dang. Hold up, Jag. Jag be going hard. Jag go hard on Jay-Z, man. And again, it sure is funny how ain't nobody tried to sue her yet. God dang.
Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough.
God dang.
You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Damn.
One where Jay wasn't just a hustler turned rapper, but also a young man who left behind connections, responsibilities, and children that didn't make the official narrative. One of the most damning pieces is a letter Wanda allegedly wrote in the early 90s. In it, she details her brief but life-altering connection with a young Sean Carter. It reads like a time capsule, full of the slang, the grit, and the addresses of that era. It's the kind of document you can't just wave away as fake without inviting deeper questions, because the details fit the timeline too well. And if even one piece of it holds up in a court of law, the whole house of cards starts to wobble. And the whispers don't stop there, because in every legend story, there's a queen. And this one is no different. Enter Beyonce. For years, there's been talk that her influence stretches far beyond the stage, that behind closed doors, she has been pulling invisible strings to make sure these accusations never gain real traction. Industry insiders whisper that Mrs. Carter is nobody's fool. Her public image is empowerment, sisterhood, unity.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce.
But when it comes to protecting her family's empire, insiders claim she plays a different game, a ruthless one. NDAs, they say, float through the mail like confetti at a Rock Nation brunch. Contracts designed to silence first and ask questions never. Stories from multiple music veterans suggest Beyonce isn't just Jay's partner in music, she's his partner in survival.
My man said, ask questions never. Y'all getting this? Y'all checking this out, man? Here we go. My bad. Here we go.
Nation brunch. Contracts designed to silence first and ask questions never. Stories from multiple music veterans suggest Beyonce isn't just Jay's partner in music, she's his partner in survival. Her power extends not just to business moves, but to damage control, ensuring that anyone who dares question the Carter legacy finds themselves boxed out, silenced, or drowned in legal paperwork. Is that paranoia, or is it just smart business for the world's most famous couple?
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange?
Get your hand.
You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing.
Oh my God.
The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Either way, the silence from their camp grows heavier every day, and the longer it lasts, the more it feels like something real is being hidden. But just when the world thought this saga couldn't get any wilder, another figure entered the picture. Letitia Elmire, a Maryland woman who has been insisting for years that she's Jay-Z's secret firstborn. This isn't some baseless internet rumor. She's come forward with what she claims is DNA proof. She's gone public on Instagram, and the accusations are chilling. She says Jay-Z not only knows about her existence, but that he actively pays to keep her quiet. Former friends of Jay-Z whisper that he even keeps a house in Cambridge for her, with the bills covered under one strict rule: no photos of him allowed anywhere on the premises. The deal, they claim, is simple. Stay quiet, enjoy the support, and never ever tell your story on the record. And if that's true, what does it say about the Carter empire? Is this the price?
What? Wait a minute, man. That's a little bit too much juicy information. You mean to tell me that Jay-Z, y'all believe that? So Jay-Z is actually taking care of this little girl? I didn't know that. The one that allegedly, so you got two kids out there allegedly saying that you the daddy. And you covering up, you got one of them that you say you're going to help him with the his music and everything. You got another one that's out here, you paying all her bills. Just can't take no pictures. What? Come on, man. I don't know, man.
DNA proof. She's gone public on Instagram.
And
the accusations are chilling. She says Jay-Z not only knows about her existence, but that he actively pays to keep her quiet. Former friend.
So why are you talking then? If he's paying you to keep quiet, why are you talking now? I don't understand that part. You can't take it no more? Shoot. Jay-Z might mess around, take you to court and sue you and get all the money back because you supposed to keep quiet. I don't know. I don't understand this world, man.
Friends of Jay-Z whisper that he even keeps a house in Cambridge for her, with the bills covered under one strict rule: no photos of him allowed anywhere on the premises. The deal, they claim, is simple. Stay quiet, enjoy the support, and never ever tell your story on the record. And if that's true, what does it say about the Carter empire? Is this the price of peace in their universe? Hush money instead of acknowledgement, support instead of truth? And this isn't some fringe rumor that dies out after a few months. This one refuses to go away. Year after year, Murr and her sister continue to tell the same story. Her own sister even went public, bluntly describing how she introduced Jay-Z to Licia's mother and then watched as the fallout unfolded. She claims the family tried to reach Jay at Rockefeller's headquarters when the pregnancy news broke, but their efforts were ignored. According to her, there's no way he can deny this.
Anything, so why wouldn't I believe my mom? Like, we could have been settled this, and it only takes a conversation and some words, I'm not a hateful guy. I don't hate anyone. I'm not after nobody. I'm not trying to see no one downfall, but this is just some things that just went through court, and they just expected me to just sit there and just take what they were saying. I can't do that because
too many people were there. Too many people know it, and that's the problem for Jay-Z. The more these stories stack up, the less his silence looks like caution, and the more it looks like calculated evasion. If these claims are truly baseless, if every single woman is just chasing clout, why do the stories refuse to disappear? Why do new names and new receipts keep surfacing? Even court filings seem to dance around the issue, sealing documents, blocking access, delaying cases.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
Property records, mysterious payments, sealed files, they all line up just out of reach, forming a shadowy pattern that's too consistent to dismiss. That's why Ramir's so-called family albums hit like cultural dynamite, because they connect the dots. They draw straight lines between every silent claimant, every unanswered letter, every document marked confidential. They challenge the mainstream press, asking the questions nobody in the industry wants to ask. How many deals have been struck in back rooms to keep the Carter name clean? How many people have been paid to disappear? How many stories were buried before they ever saw daylight? And above all, and if all of this is truly nothing but tabloid fantasy, why hasn't Jay-Z taken the simplest step of all? A DNA test. A test that would settle the entire thing in less time than it takes to film a Rock Nation brunch selfie. Think about that. If it's all lies, why keep running? Why keep hiding? Why keep delaying? The more these leaks spread, the more Jay-Z's silence feels less like strategy and more like fear. Fear of what happens when the world finally sees the whole truth. Fear of what happens when the empire built on a legend collides with the receipts locked away in those so-called family albums. Because at the end of the day,
man, my bad, man. I can't stop looking at this dude nose, man, and then waiting for the next picture of Ramir. Them noses, man, just tell on everybody. Good God Almighty. Yeah, man, that nose.
This isn't just about one man.
The nose, no.
Fear of what happens when the empire built on a legend collides with the receipts locked away in those so-called family albums. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one man and one claim. It's about a pattern, a legacy full of sealed files, NDAs, and whispers that...
Oh, my bad. My bad. Look at Ramir's nose. Now, focus on the noses, baby. Look at his nose.
In those so-called family albums. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one man and one claim. It's about a pattern, a legacy full of sealed files, NDAs.
Do they share that same nose? They sharing the same nose, y'all. All right. Shh. Uncle Mike, behave yourself. Behave yourself, man. Here we go.
Receipts locked away in those so-called family albums. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one man and one claim. It's about a pattern, a legacy full of sealed files, NDAs, and whispers that refuse to die. And if even half of what's in those albums is true, then the Carter Empire isn't built on an untouchable foundation. It's built on secrets. And secrets have a way of eventually spilling out. The tension surrounding the Carter Empire isn't just in the evidence that keeps surfacing. It's in the way the entire machine seems almost engineered to steamroll over challengers, to silence whispers, and to outlast scandal no matter how ugly the details get. For every court order demanding clarity, there's a counter appeal ready to stall. For every request for a DNA test, a new legal technicality suddenly appears like clockwork. Records that once existed vanish into sealed files. Property ownership details twist and change in paperwork. Lawyers stumble over their words when pressed, only to regroup and come back with more layers of red tape. And the individuals who dare to stand up, people like guardians such as Strilly Killy, end up painted in court as obsessive harassers.
This is not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let Jay-Z, I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right. We'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles. But before...
When in reality, all they're asking for is clarity. Recognition for a young man whose mother literally passed away trying to make her truth known. It's a cycle that drains claimants of money, time, and emotional strength. The Carter legal team, with its resources stretching further than most people could imagine, knows how to drag things out until the other side runs out of air. They wait for families to collapse under the weight of bills. They wait for energy to fade. They wait for hope itself to dissolve. And yet, as Ramir's camp points out, one question cuts through all of the noise like a knife. If Jay-Z is so certain about his innocence, what exactly is he afraid of? Why dodge the test that could end everything in a single afternoon? The contradiction is stark. This is the same Jay-Z who could take punches in the music industry, survive rivalries, and position himself as one of the most untouchable moguls in history. But when it comes to this one issue, the most powerful voice in hip-hop has remained muted, hidden behind silence and a wall of attorneys. It makes people wonder whether the empire is really built on genius or on layers of sealed files and checks signed quietly in the dark. And now, with the so-called family album surfacing, the public is left to question the Carter dynasty on a scale we've never seen before. This isn't just about paternity anymore. This isn't just about whether one man fathered one son. No. This has blown open into a story about power itself, about who gets to decide the narrative and who gets erased from history entirely. Every new photo, every letter, every handwritten note drags Beyoncé's name deeper into the shadows, forcing even her most loyal fans to whisper questions they never thought they'd ask. Has she been silently burying the past to protect the brand? Or has she simply been another bystander, swept up in a legacy crisis too massive to stop? Because make no mistake, the silence is deafening. The evidence keeps stacking higher. The voices keep multiplying. And the longer that silence stretches, the more it feels less like dignity and more like complicity. Suddenly, what was once just the story of Ramir Carter, a young man with a box of photos and letters from his mother, becomes something much larger. It's no longer just about him, it's about legacy, it's about control. It's about whether the Carter brand, built into $1 billion global empire, was raised on talent and vision alone, or if it was fortified by denial, intimidation, and a bottomless legal budget. Look closely, and you'll see how the pattern repeats itself like a blueprint perfected over decades. For years, paternity claims have hovered around the Carter orbit like storm clouds that never quite break but never disappear. Ramir in New Jersey, Letitia in Maryland, different names, different places, but the same story echoing over and over. A brief encounter with a rising Sean Carter, a pregnancy that followed, a mother who spoke up, and then the weight of the empire descending. Suddenly, plaintiffs become villains. Mothers are accused of running harassment campaigns, children are dismissed as liars, and the same Carter playbook grinds into gear. Deny, delay, discredit. The details always rhyme. A photo here, a note there, a timeline that doesn't quite match up with the official biography, and always.
I can still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Always the demand for a DNA test that never materializes. Maybe once you could call that coincidence, twice maybe bad luck, but when the pattern keeps repeating over decades, it no longer feels like chance. It feels like procedure. The emotional cost of this cycle is brutal. We see Ramir's weariness in interviews, his determination hardened by years of legal stonewalling. We see Letitia's frustration spilling onto Instagram, posting about the burden her family has carried in silence. These are not people flaunting flashy lawsuits for tabloid clout. They're exhausted, beaten down, but unwilling to fold. And when Ramir says, "I don't want money, I just want the truth," you can hear the fatigue in his voice. For every sealed file, every unexplained payment, every court dismissal that dodges the core issue, there's another wound, another moment of disappointment, another person asking the question that won't die. If you're so certain, why not just take the test? That question now echoes louder than ever. And while Jay-Z himself remains silent, the shadow stretches over Beyoncé too. For years, she has mastered the art of saying nothing. And in most contexts, it's worked brilliantly. Her silence has been seen as dignity, as grace. But in this context, in this storm, it's beginning to look like complicity.
Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down.
She sits as the silent queen on a platinum throne, her image untouched, while the rumors swirl like vultures beneath her. 3 separate insiders from the industry have whispered the same thing. Beyoncé's silence is not accidental, it's strategic. In a world where one rumor can collapse an empire, she has perfected the art of never acknowledging, never reacting. But strategy or not, the effect is the same. It fuels suspicion. Every time a new leak surfaces, fans swarm her social media. They search her posts, her lyrics, her interviews for any clue that she sees what's happening, any signal that she cares. But time and again, there's nothing. Not a word. not a line, not even a gesture. For some, it's composure. For others, it's a shield. And the question now feels bigger than celebrity gossip. It feels existential. Are we witnessing a love story, a partnership of equals? Or are we watching the most high-stakes cover-up the music industry has ever seen? Because the Carter camp has perfected the art of disappearance. Stories vanish. Critics are out-lawyered. Whistleblowers fade into silence. Until someone like Ramir refuses to disappear. Until someone like Letitia leaks another detail, another alleged receipt, and suddenly, the hush money, the hidden houses, the rules about no family photos, all hang in the air with the weight of smoke too thick to clear.
He took them to some apartment building, and you know, they did what they did in there, you know, talked a little bit, had a good time party, and I guess you know, I can't fully talk as my mom because I'm not my mom. I'm just telling you guys what she told me. It was this, and I honestly just believe it. You know, it's just no doubt in my mind.
When one accuser,
you can hear the truthfulness in his words. You can hear the truthfulness, and that's what the problem is. A lot of people don't realize that the truthfulness, man. A lot of people don't realize that they want things their way. With the I don't know, man. Let me. I'm trying to wait to try to change
forward,
some things.
it's a scandal. When it happens again and again,
My bad.
it stops being scandal and starts looking like standard operating procedure. And that's what makes the family albums more than just pictures. They're cultural dynamite. They're a direct challenge to the Carter blueprint. A reminder that not every voice can be silenced and not every secret can stay buried. Because this isn't just about Jay-Z's personal affairs anymore. The stakes are bigger than one man's reputation. The world has watched Jay-Z position himself as a champion of justice, a voice for equality, a role model who turned his life into a parable of redemption. But if even half of these claims are true, then we have to ask the question no fan wants to face. What does it mean when the voice of justice won't face the truth at home? And the risk isn't just his, it stretches to Beyonce as well. Her brand is one of empowerment, truth, and strength, but as more details leak, the silence looks less like power and more like avoidance.
I was a kid and I honestly didn't know what she was talking about. But, you know, I did hear her, you know, as I got older, 7, 8, 9, 10, and she continued with the same story. You know, my mom wasn't crazy. She gave us everything. She'd give if she said, give your life up for your kids right now, it wouldn't take a second for her to give her life up. She was just a lovely person, like everyone who knew my mom.
Does she know everything, or has she chosen not to ask? Is her legendary silence the armor she wears to survive in a brutal industry, or is it the calculated shield of someone who knows that the truth would destroy too much? Every leak in this saga fuels more conspiracies. Every delay, every sealed record, every unexplained payment deepens the sense that something is being managed tightly behind the curtain. Some call it smart business, others call it a cover-up. Either way, the Carter dynasty, once untouchable, now looks vulnerable. And that vulnerability has shifted the story forever. The real cliffhanger is no longer whether Jay-Z takes a DNA test. The cliffhanger is whether the Carter brand itself can survive this relentless storm. Will these family albums finally force him into the light? Or will the same machine of lawyers, silence, and influence bury the story again until the world forgets? And if they do bury it, how many more voices will come forward before the dam finally breaks? Because at this point, it's not just about evidence, it's about legacy. And legacies can't stay hidden forever. But we're here when it comes out, and trust us, it will. So don't forget to like, subscribe.
Damn, man, that's crazy. What I was going to say is this, man. There's a lot of times where people will come and speak truth. People will come and speak truth. And they are trying to find the words in their heart and their soul to make sure you guys believe. Those are not good speakers. They're not. We don't want to hear that. You know, you're so used to hearing the smooth preacher that can do a little act with his the wolf and sheep clothes, TD Jakes. That's right, I said it. The Dr. Umars and all these people that they know how to, it's like poetry when they speak. The people that got the poetry when they speak, they done practice and They got it down pat. They know how to smoothly make this thing move and all this shit. That's how we want it served to us. And that's when you uncover it, there's a bunch of lies and bull up under it. But when Remir talk, or when I talk, or when some of these other, I ain't never peaked. I never took a public speaking class. You know, these people right here, they study public speaking and stuff like that. Got their PR person, public relation person around them, what to say and what not to say. I bet you any amount of money, all this stuff going down, Beyonce probably look at some of them comments or whatever, and she don't touch none of them. She probably pay a whole lot of people to answer comments for her, or don't even answer them, period. And the PR person probably telling them, the more you don't answer, the more they want to come towards you. I don't know, man. But we testing out some things. We're going to be working out 2 different cameras and all that type of stuff. So y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Told you so. Peace out. Boy, I made about 100,000 mistakes in this video. Good gracious.